สวัสดีครับท่านผู้ชมครับพิพัฒน์วงศ์วิวัฒน์คุยเฟื่องเรื่องภาษานะครับวันนี้จะมาพูดเกี่ยวกับเรื่องของการศึกษานะครับเป็นเรื่องของหลักคิดเป็นคำที่เราใช้กันแพร่หลายนะครับก็คือคำว่า 4C นะครับตัว C 4ตัวนะครับวันนี้ได้เชิญเพื่อนๆนะครับใน global stage มาคุยด้วยนะครับทั้งจาก Beautiful Life ทั้งจาก The True English Speaking Club นะครับก็ขออนุญาตนะครับที่จะทำเป็นภาคภาษาอังกฤษนะครับแต่ถ้าท่านใดมีคำถามนะครับที่เป็นภาษาไทยก็ทิ้งเอาไว้นะครับทิ้งเอาไว้ได้เดี๋ยวช่วง Q&A นะครับช่วงท้ายรายการเราจะมาตอบคำถามนะครับที่ทางบ้านอาจจะสนใจนะครับ Hi everyone, Pipat speaking from Thailand. It is my pleasure. It is my appreciate today to talk about the educational term. It is 4C, which is widely recognized by people who getting involved in the education. You might know that all parents want to provide their children with the best education possible. Did you know that in today's society need badly 4C education to succeed? 4C education which consists of first one, communication, the second, collaboration, the third, creativity and critical thinking. 4C is important because it helps children deliver their best potential. The 4C of 21st century skills are more of the most popular learning strategies in today's environment. This is the most important in the 21st century because it is hard than ever to verify something called accurate information. And today I would like to invite my close friend, Kun Sripon, to share his ideas as he has been working for this area, educational area, for many years. And he is one who challenged me to create Facebook Live 3 years before. And now it's my turn. I challenge him to share his idea about what is important in education. It is 4C. Okay, I invite Kun Sripon and share his idea about 4C. And if you have any questions, it's more than welcome. The program is about 1 hour from now on. And after we finish conversation, your comment, your question will be shared together through our global stage. Okay, I'm gonna invite Kun Sripon. Is now adding. Hello, teacher Tim. Thank you for coming.
Hello,
สวัสดีครับ
good
สวัสดี
evening.
ครับ สวัสดีครับ สวัสดีครับ สวัสดีครับอาจารย์ครับ
สวัสดีครับผม Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening, Thailand. Yeah, a
How
while ago
come I couldn't see my voice on my? Oh well.
Yeah,
Let's see.
the voice is crystal clear.
It is.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Good.
Yeah, I just introduced about the 4C. 4C in
Yep.
education. Actually, it can be applied in various area, but now we are focused on the 4C in education, and later on we will share more about how about its application. Yeah. So this is my first
Okay.
question. Okay, I think better because maybe you are new or for some group because I asked my friends to share it out to the True English Speaking Club and Beautiful Life So I would like you to introduce yourself in brief, please.
Oh, okay. You would like me to introduce myself? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just a guy who almost 60 years old, pretty close, and I've been working in very various position and in different several industries, mostly in IT and telecom. And a few years back, I feel that I would like to get to be retired earlier. So think I should contribute some of my experience to someone. So I got hooked up with a university, and I I joined them as a consultant and to share my experience, working experience, so that so that it can be blended into the education setting or content, thing like that. Anyway, back to why I'm interested in education, because I feel that um, human resource or human capital needs to be developed, and if being developed very effectively, it's gonna produce a lot of economic return. Let's say in 5 or 10 years after the student graduate. So it means that we're gonna have students that have very high competitive edge, and they're gonna be productive and can generate more GDP or GNP in the future later on. So that's why I think human capital is very important. So when we come to that, we have to think of when the student come to study, there are maybe 4 or 5 different domains of learning. One of them very obvious is knowledge, but in current situation like this, okay, economic, political, and social thing like that is so that's a lot of change. You can call it vulgar, that called V as well. But you might need to help me on that one. V is what? And UCA.
VUCA.
Yeah, volatility. I think it's volatile. And U is what? U is uncertainty.
Sorry, I have no
And
idea.
C is sorry. And C is complexity, and A is ambiguity. So this thing happened very rapidly, and that's why people cannot expect what can happen in perhaps in 5 or 10 years. For example, you see that Nokia is no longer here, and perhaps maybe in the next decade we might not see Sony or iPhone. Who knows? Anyway, when it comes to that, we talk about performance. People always think of performance as say KPI, how fast you can go, thing like that. But nobody know that if something happened very in a unexpected way, what are you going to do? You can keep if you say that you have to drive a car from here to perhaps Chiang Mai or maybe KL, Kuala Lumpur, at 100 kilometers per hour. You just keep going there with that speed. But suddenly there is something disrupt your way. What are you going to do? You're going to hit them and you keep driving on 100 kilometers per hour. That's a KPI. That is tactical performance. So it's not going to work because something that happened on that cut on your path, you have to stop and you have to think how to do that, how to navigate around things that obstruct you. That's called adaptive performance. So basically, for the adaptive performance, it's not really have to deal with knowledge. It has to deal with those competency. I would say it's general competency, or some people call it is core-functional competency. First of all, before we go to that, such competency we can group into about 4. One is communication. Second is critical thinking, and third is creative thinking, and fourth is collaborating. That sometimes we call C4 or 4C, 4 competences.
C4.
Yeah.
Yes.
C4. C4 is explosive substance, right?
Explosive.
Anyway, when people always say that, hey, come on, there is more than 4 competences to work, but I would say that with this minimum set of 4, you can work. You can be very adaptive. Why? Because you know how to communicate very effectively. You know what they think, and they know what you think. Okay, you can get the message across to help them, and you can help them. They can help us, things like that. And for the creative thinking, I would say that most of people with what you call it, like customer service or the designer or the problem shooter, they have to be very creative to find a way or problem solve. To solve the problem, they have to be very creative to find solution. That's why the creative thinking is key. And for the next one is critical thinking. Critical thinking and creative thinking is sort of different. Okay, for creative thinking, let's go back to creative thinking. It's very divergent. You know, divergent thinking. You can come with a lot of solutions, but you have to select one of them. Okay, either of them, or maybe some of them that work, but you have to think a lot. You have to find a solution. When you say you have to find a solution, sometimes solution might come with only one single solution, or maybe suboptimal solution, or very optimal solution, whatever. You have to find, and then you have to select. But first one, you have to find your choices. When you find your choices, this means you have to decide. You have to think very creatively to think of the solution, what's the possible outcome that you want to have. But for the critical thinking is when you see something happen, you have to think why the thing happened. That's critical thinking. Sometimes you might have a lot of you see scenario like this, and you think why this thing happened. You try to convert whatever you think until you reach the final solution that thing happened because of this. That's why I say this is. Yeah, that's a picture. That's a picture. People, you might want to expand that further on the picture. Just maybe just repeat me or make a reflection on what you just draw.
Yeah, actually, we talked about this before, and then your explanation connected to the two big words of the convergence and divergence. Yeah, I think your explanation was clear because you mentioned creative thinking, something like how to solve the problem. Because as problem shooter require someone who have their creative thinking because they can create there are many possible solutions. Yeah, and then this you said that the creative thinking is the process like divergence. Yeah, and that is what people got involved in their life. But now we are talking technically. But if you can connect to what you experience yourself, they can get the clear pictures about what is creative thinking in the process of the divergence. And the critical thinking is a word that widely used in Thailand society. It is when you think something in a critical state and you like to think about what is let's say this a problem. It is so many possible. It is the problem, and how to get the solution.
How to get to the core.
To the core. Yeah, to the core. By
to the core.
Convergence process. That is what I understanding, and I think maybe if there's someone would like to share more about their own experience. They are more than welcome this at the end of our conversation. Yeah, that is what I would like to share, and what I learned from your sharing earlier. Yeah, that is about the creative thinking, and I would like to ask you about the how about the creative thinking and adaptive thinking. It is similar or is different?
Critical thinking or adapt. Well, what I say is an adaptive performance. That's two kind of performance. Okay, one is a no, tactical performance. The second one is adaptive performance.
Oh yes.
These two things are different, and they have to coexist. One could not be without another, like yin and yang. Okay, but most people or most of yeah, but duality, you can say that it's well, not really duality, but it's like twin yin and yang. Could we call it a duality?
Pros and cons.
I'm not sure.
It's a pros and cons.
It's not pros and cons. It's like two kinds have to coexist.
Okay.
One could not live with another without another, and two things live in tension. Like you cannot separate them out, and sometimes they have to cling together.
They're supposed to go together.
Left, another one they go to right. Another one, kind of like get into balance.
Balancing.
But most people always think of adaptive performance. They rarely think of the adaptive performance because adaptive performance is very difficult to measure, right? For technical performance, you talk about mile per hour. What is a dollar revenue per year? What is a GP? Thing like that. You can come up with a lot of metrics to do that, to measure. But for adaptive performance, there's not really a way to exact measure it. That's why the problem is, and people always not talking about adaptive performance because we cannot measure. Yeah.
Yes.
That's why two things have to come together.
Yes, and how about another C? You mentioned three.
Oh, okay. Almost forgot that. Yeah. See, the last C is collaborative or collaboration. It means how you can work together as a team member. Okay. For example, this day, 1 + 1 has to be greater than 2. All right. If you work only one person, you might not be that productive as 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. And sometimes if you have like 100, it's gonna be 100 or 1,000. It will call emergence. It means that all work together of 1,000 is much greater than 1,000 people. Each individual work together separately. You see what I mean? 1 + 1 is more than 2. It has to be that. So teamwork, you need to have this sort of competence to work together.
Yes.
And
okay. Well, may I share a bit when we come to this 4C? Okay, I will share like my feeling, and when I heard about your information is rather technical, but okay, I would share what I perceive in the past, and then I try to connect my experience to 4C. Yeah, my understanding is when you would like to do something, you have to create. And along the way, you might get some problem, some obstacle, something like that, and you come to the second C. It is critical thinking, how to solve it, how to got the best solution, and that is okay. That's the first stage when you start with 2C, and when you gotta make things happen, you need to collaborate with someone. Yeah, that means you need the teamwork, and among your teamwork, it cannot achieve without another C, it is effective communication among the collaborative teams. That is what I understand by my past experience, that I think I can connect that to what you are just sharing about the principle, the 4C. Yeah, that is right?
Yes, that's right. And I would like to add more. Previously, when we look at the competences to build on our students, we have like 35 competences, and we think that that's too many, and we cannot squeeze all those competences to be embedded in the student. At least I think, well, at most 2 or 3 or 5. I think is overwhelmed. And what first we come up with only three set is communication and lifelong learning and critical thinking. We think of only 3. But later on, we came across one university called Minova. They said they built this well, they said what they call it is the main objective of that university is to build a knowledge around the 4 competencies that they call it pillars, that they call it 4 pillars with the knowledge, and they blend the knowledge and those 4 competencies together, so that they make sure that students after graduate they can survive and perform in the rural environment. That's what they said. So I said, well, why not? What the heck? What they said 4C, we just adopt 4C because they might have come off, well, they should have thought very carefully and why they have selected 4C. And when we work along the way, we found that it does make sense to have that just 4Cs. No more, no less. Okay.
Yeah, Sripon, yeah. I would like to ask more about the 4C, because when you explain, you explain separately, but I had the feeling that it is, you can apply this effectively. You're supposed to connect this 4C. And I feel like it is a process. It should be connected, and it can go together, not in the sequential process. It's something like an egg and chicken situation. It depends on the situation. Sometimes you can think about the first collaboration, and later on critical thinking, or alternate. It depends on the situation. Is it right? It's not a go in sequential, right?
No, it's not go sequential. And these 4 competences, they happen, you can say simultaneously, and can be developed one without another. They cannot be developed one without another. But when the group is as a single entity, you have 4C. But anyway, when you develop students or develop people, you might have to select 1C at a time. But each 1C, if you touch another C as well. So let's say that you focus only communication. When you say that you are teaching and develop students to have the communication skill, you're gonna have the other 3 as well. But the other 3 might not come in the big picture, but it has to be it's gonna support the first communication altogether. Thing like that.
Okay, thank you, Sripon. Yeah, something pop up, because when I listen deeply about your explanation about the 4C, I got the feeling and connect to an acronym Teacher Tim mentioned many times, and I feel like there are something overlapping. It is a FILA. FILA, this acronym, it stands for the fact. The second is idea. The third is learning issues. And the last one is the A, action plan. Yeah. Could you please correlate this acronym FILA to the something called 4C? Yeah, in your point of view.
I'm not
It's a
sure.
fact,
I think
idea,
it's
learning issues, and action plan. I think it should be something in the gray area. It is something should be.
it's not gray area. I would say that whatever you say, it can hit the same point. Okay, whether you say 4C or filler, it's talking about the same thing, but it's depend on the angle that you look at, and different angle will produce the same result. Whether you look at from a 4C angle or the filler angle, I could not say that which one is better. It's just angle.
I don't mean that it's which one is better, but my question is you might
same thing.
See something.
It's same thing. It's same thing. But if you would like me to go into details or elaborate that what F is in the in form of the other 4C, gonna be a big headache for me.
Okay, if so, I would like to share because I get used to FILA because I talk and share with teacher team and our members for many years. Yeah, and I get used to, and I try to connect to the things happen in my life. Like the last times when our friend they went to Ubon Ratchathani to donate the stuff for the victim of the flood area. Yeah, I think about that and I try to connect with the FILA because three of our friends went to Ubon Ratchathani because they got the first thing it is here they are aware of the fact, the flood in Ubon Ratchathani. And surely the fact is many people in there, many victims in there became homeless because of flooding. That's the facts. And another fact is they need urgently helping hands. Yeah. And the second, this idea. Idea is what all of our friends can contribute to the victims in Northeast regions. It is an idea, yeah.
Okay.
And the learning issue is many collaboration. Yeah, we come to collaboration, teamwork, communicating. Yeah, that is happen along the way. It is a learning issue, and procurement and how to get the job done in a very short period of times and audit out. And if only see, the thing is in the cloud. It is like untouchable, intangible, but without A, you cannot make things happen. It is action. It's an action. And again, when you start action, you mean communicative thinking, effective communication. You need teamwork. You need connecting with the people here who in charge of this flooding circumstances in there. So I think we can use sometimes interchangeably. It depends on the situation. That is what I understand.
Yeah. You are right. You talk about that filler can be substituted with the 4C. That's true. For example, why I'm saying that 4C? Okay, this is 4C to see x, y, z. This is the vector. Okay. When we talk about 4C, we talk about 4 vectors in perpendicular. So they are orthogonal. So it's not really overlapping with each other. In theory, it should not be. It should be orthogonal. That's why you say we talk about 4C. But when you talk about filler, these filler, they are not orthogonal. You see what I mean in terms of vector. All right. That's why I'm a bit more comfortable with that orthogonal vector or competency.
Yes. Okay, thank you. I think I can get a more clear pictures, in general pictures, Yeah. So so do our audiences. So that I would like to ask you the question about why. Why a 4C is important in 21st century. Before they are moving to that answer, generally people, when they talk about Thailand education, they always are talking about the big picture. The first one, what happened in the 20th century, it is a teacher-centered education. And now we're gonna change to another big pictures that fit more to 21st century is so-called children-centered education or children-centric education. And now this when we come to 4C, yeah, and actually not only college, the university, every university now is take serious about this 4C and to change the education. And I think this the principle is widely applicable to Thailand University based on a 4C principle. And if so, why? Why is it important for education in 21st century in your point of view?
First of all, I would say that when you say 21st century competence, I think we already in the 21st century.
19 years already. 19 years already.
Okay. Yes. So it's become the cliche to say that 21st century skill or competence. I say, well, just drop it. It's the must competence. It's the must competences that you must all people in the workforce should have those being able to survive. When I say to survive, it means that you have to be very adaptive. And these 4 key competence will enable people in the workforce to be very adaptive. If you're not adaptive, you're not going to survive. As in this century or the next few centuries to come, the VUCA come very stronger, and will be, well, you can say a lot of game changer happen these days or in the past 2 decades. It's going to be coming more and more and more. And if you're not adaptive enough, you're not going to survive. You will not survive. And we are pretty sure that if you have at least that 4 competence, it will enable you to be very adaptive to survive in this very competitive environment or rapidly changed environment.
Okay.
Or culture. First of all,
yes, please.
First of all, when you change this, when you build this competence in the workforce, it's not gonna survive by itself. You need to build the culture to nurture this competence so that people can work together and work in a harmony, and it will become what they call emergence in the theory of a competitive theory. If you look into that one, it's talk about emergence, it's talk about 1 + 1 more than 2, thing like that. Because because the workforce is very adaptive, so it become things are bigger than what I call it. Anyway, I'll talk about that later because I kind of forgot that word to say that. One more than many than one. Anyway, it's an English word to describe that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Carry on.
Yeah. Okay. I would like to take another one example. In my opinion, I think the process that you mentioned, we need to get involved and then adapt or utilize the 4C. It is the facts. I think the people, can feel about that, because now we are in 21st century and we access to too many data. That is called the big data. And that is the most important in 21st century, that because it is hard than ever to verify accurate information solution. That is because that is people consume huge millions of information, and without the critical thinking, they cannot get what is the right way, what is the right measures, because there is over
which one is authentic news, which one is fake news.
Exactly. Yes.
That's why you need critical thinking.
Another that is one thing I think people should start their understand about this 4C. Surely it's not important just only education, but workforce and
that's right,
actually life, because we need people who can think and analyze, synthesize, and whatever by themselves. And sometimes they're supposed to collaborate with the others, like a brainstorming process. That is very clear. But we are trying to group into 4C. But I think it can be adapt interchangeably. It depends on the situation. That is my understanding. And now it's almost 1 hour, so I come to the last question. Okay, that is good principle. I think everyone agree upon it. But we come to last question. And after conversation, I hope to see some questions from our audiences. My question is how to implement the 4C in institute. Let's make it institute. Yeah, just to focus on education today.
All right.
Most important, many good principles cannot be effective without proper implementation. Please share this idea.
Okay, the teacher needs to understand what they are first, and they need to practice by themselves until they can master those competencies, and then they can teach, and they can coach, and they make sure that within the framework of 70-20-10, they have to ensure that the 10 and 20 they can teach develop students along the 4-year course of study. Is it easy? It's not easy, because even teacher, or sometimes even myself, I don't practice those competencies to that fullest extent. But we know that if we go further, what it would be like. Anyway, I would say that first the teacher needs to understand it, and they need to practice it until they can fully understand, and they can extend their understanding and build it to the student. And they need to design the process to measure or to assess that how much the student have attained those competencies, things like that. It's not easy, I would say, because it's a new content, it's a new concept, it's a new way of look at the teaching and learning. It's not just like we have a knowledge and we explain the knowledge, like differentiation, calculus, and those science. There's a lot of things It's just more than the cognitive competence. Previously, we in the classroom, we think that we can think only the knowledge domain and the cognitive domain, nothing else. When we talk about when we have another 4C come into the play, it's a new content for the teacher. It's not easy to do that, but we try to do.
Yeah, I feel like that because
maybe within 2 or 3 years we can see that it's happening, that students have those competences in when they are ready into the work to be in the workforce.
Yes. Yeah.
And also we're not talking about only the student. We are also talking about the people in the workforce. How can we train them to communicate effectively, to work as a team member effectively, and to think clearly, and to solve the problem effectively?
Yeah,
we need to train our workforce.
I feel that this is something long time process. You cannot turn everything upside down, but it's a need people to grow up together.
Yes.
Like I said, in education, you cannot change anything with the education. Just only to party, school, and student. So you need parents to participate or collaborate. That is the three major groups supposed to understand the same picture. That is what I saw. I saw there are many schools in Thailand that they start to have the parents get involved in any kind of their education, because otherwise the students who are in the middle might feel confused, because they stay in the school for 8 hours.
That's right.
And then what happens for 16 hours, then when they go back to a parent with zero understanding about what is going to be. So the students surely become confused. And then I think three groups have to go together.
I could not agree with you more than that. And there's one, I believe, is African proverb saying that it takes a whole village to raise a child.
Yep, exactly.
A whole village.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
So that means the whole culture has to change as well to nurture those competence, nurture whatever things gonna go. Otherwise, as a human being or as a human race, we're gonna become a dinosaur. It takes
so I think,
to
frankly speaking, we talk quite a lot of the things that it need collective understanding. But first of all, day one, we're supposed to have the people to create the sense of awareness. If people don't aware, because I experienced when and teacher team and my teams creating our club, the True English Speaking Club. You see, when our member start being aware of the importance of English, they open their mind, and everything will go beautifully smooth, because of they think about that as its importance. Otherwise, the procedures is very hard to be implemented. That is my idea. Yeah. Okay, I think that is all about my question. I supposed to ask you, and then a while ago you mentioned about the ratio 10, 20, 70. I think it's better to talk there another times.
Yeah, in next session, perhaps tomorrow.
Yeah, and then this let me see about the comment. Maybe there are some questions. Anyone, Risa, Nerusa, teacher Tim, would you like to share your ideas? Okay. Let's go up.
No question, I would say.
Yeah, just say hello. Okay, this is a teacher we know at Kumar.
Oh,
he is
gentleman.
from India. He is a very smart young teacher. He confirmed and he repeated what you mentioned about the choices make students more interested and passionate about the learning. Okay, how you think about his comment? Choices make students more interested and passionate about learning. This is what he shared. And again, we not teaching requires creativity and generating new ideas. We can't stick with old pedagogy. It is the time demand. Yes, it's the time demand. It's a time-taking process. It's not just overnight process. Okay, the question is related to our what about monetary value? If mentors were corrupted, then how to implement 4C in our education? Okay, this is Richard. Richard will he repeat what was my last question. Okay, teachers, the government, parents need to cooperate together. Yeah, that he agree with what we share. I am a student, so how will become an analyst teacher? Sometimes students are better than teachers. And again, we have to leave comparing students and assessing them by their grades first. We have to realize them that everyone is unique. Yeah, that is agree because the examination based teaching now is out of date because I mentioned in earlier Facebook Live that if you keep talking with your kids, your children, with don't do that, don't do that, don't do that, your children gradually lost their self-confidence. And that is why, sorry to say, in my country, okay, I would like to reflect the fact. Don't do that. It is the words you listen all the times. And when your children grew up to some certain level, they cannot got the maturity because they have something embedded with like don't do that, don't do that. And they cannot express themselves confidently because of the parenting. That is another topic and another perception I would like to share more connecting to the what I would say constructive parenting. That is most important as well. Teachers should be more creative and updated with wisdom. Most this is a comment, but I didn't see the question. Yeah, teacher Tim said now just 19 years into the 21st century and through educational evolution, is happening globally. Yeah, when teacher Tim, he mentioned about the education, he used the educational evolution, evolve. Evolve, that means it's a change gradually, yeah, respect to nature law. Okay, this is a good question. Yeah, I think it should be a one from the audiences. I think it is a challenging question. Covivio, yeah, he said that if students know better than teachers, what should be entangle the situations? How about your idea? The last in comment box. If students know better than teachers, what should we entangle the situations?
You're asking me?
I read because this is a question from the audiences, and I think
Okay.
you're supposed to share your idea based on this question.
In a classroom,
Is it a loaded question?
In a classroom, we do not expect that students will know more than zero expectation. But sometimes it can happen that students know more and have more experience than teacher. For example, we don't talk about the student as a student and in a student like from 18 to 20. We're talking about students that might have a lot of working experience and they would like to reskill with the teacher in the university. If the teacher do not know more than or have more experience than the students, it's not going to sell. What I'm saying is that cost nobody going to register. So we can safely assume that the students in the age of 18 to 22 have less experience than a teacher. We can safely assume. And also, we have to make sure that our teacher has a lot of experience to share and develop the students. That's a very challenging thing to do.
Okay.
So I don't think I have the clear answer to that. Okay, but it's very definitive that teachers have to be more experienced than students.
Yes. Yeah. I would like to share about this because you can see many people said that now because of the technology disruption, people can access to the original professor through the Google, through YouTube. And when you talk about the knowledge, and maybe you think that the student should know better than teacher. I think that because the knowledge that everybody can easily accessible to, but that is why in Thailand University we're gonna talking about the role of the faculty of university. They're supposed to lessen their conventional role as educator. We expect to teach one way to the students because nowadays the world changing, the student can easily access to knowledge by themselves. And what is different in my point of view between teacher and student because of their ages and their period of time, their experience. So that is why it said that the role of the university lecturer supposed to step back, and utilize their experience and behave like a facilitator, mentor. Because let's assume that the knowledge might be higher or equal among teacher and students. But the role of the conventional educator supposed to change to one who facilitate their students. That is what I'm thinking. And he's supposed to be agent of change, not just only one who read a book and teach students as is in the last century. Yeah, that is what I would like to add on your opinions. Yeah, okay. I think this should be the last comment. So we're gonna to read and then let's see. We can share. It might happen since social media is so common and popular. Students can absorb knowledge quite easy. Okay, that is what he add on his idea. Okay. Okay, I think this time is 1 hour and 10 minutes. And I think it should be more to share if you are available. Anything else?
I think I start enjoying this sort of show.
Yeah.
But next time we can do it in Thai, huh?
Yeah, I would like to challenge you to join our group because there are so many passionate pioneers would like to share about this kind of knowledge. A while ago, in another group, they challenge the people to think about the meanings of the teaching, coaching, training, mentor. That is another challenge in the room. And every week, in the beautiful life created by Nelusa, Coach Nelusa from Romania. She lived in France for 6 years, but she loved coaching, and he challenged the members every week with new challenge. The latest one is challenge number 14 about the success. It's a big word, and challenge people to share about their ideas about this success. That is a challenge. I think if you would love what we has been doing for years, and it just become active more and more 6 months ago. And now today in our group, the member is from almost 50 countries globally. I'm so happy you love to show. You already got hooked.
Yeah, I got hooked. If I have time, I will join.
Actually, you didn't say you love because your eyes, your body language show everything.
Oh, really? We talk.
Okay, I think it's time to say goodbye. And thank you very much for creating your times and sharing invaluable knowledge to our members. And see you tomorrow.
Zero knowledge. Zero knowledge.
Okay. Let's say goodbye and a bit talk in Thai to our Thai fan. ก็เดี๋ยวถ้ามีเวลาเรามาคุยกันนะครับแล้วก็คนไทยนะครับตรงนี้จริงๆเราอยากจะให้คนไทยได้มีร่วมเยอะๆนะครับเพราะว่าในกลุ่มนั้นอยากจะให้มีคนไทยมากขึ้นนะครับในเกือบ50ประเทศนะครับที่มาจอยแล้วก็ active members เนี่ยเพิ่มขึ้นเรื่อยๆทุกวันนะครับจากคนที่เฝ้ามองแล้วก็จากคนที่เป็น silent partner นะครับเพิ่มขึ้นทุกวันนะครับตรงนั้นเป็นสิ่งที่ดีถ้าคนไทยได้มีโอกาสมาสัมผัสนะครับไม่ได้เป็นเพียงแค่มองผิวเผินเนี่ยผมคิดว่าตรงนี้จะเป็นสิ่งที่เกิดประโยชน์นะครับกับแผ่นดินแม่ของเราแล้วก็
ทำให้คนไทยนั้นเข้าใจการใช้ภาษาอังกฤษการเรียนภาษาอังกฤษแบบธรรมชาตินะครับแล้วก็ต้องเรียนอีกครั้งนะครับว่าเราเรียกว่าเป็น Family เป็นออนไลน์ Family นะครับของเราที่อยู่กันด้วยความรู้สึกที่compassion อยู่ด้วยกันแล้วก็มันไม่ได้เป็นภาษาแล้วครับที่เราตั้งใจเป็นเป้าหมายหลักแต่เราต้องใจจะแชร์เรื่องของ knowledge มากกว่าแต่เพียงแต่ใช้ภาษาอังกฤษนั้นเป็นแค่สื่อกลางเป็น tool เท่านั้นเองนะครับก็ฝากไว้นะครับใครที่มาติดตามrecording นะครับก็ลองดูแล้วก็ยินดีนะครับ welcome ที่จะมาสมัครแล้วก็พิจารณาเชิญมาร่วมกลุ่มนะครับสำหรับวันนี้ผมกับอาจารย์สิริพลนะครับอาจารย์จักรนะครับที่ปรึกษานะครับของมหาวิทยาลัยก็ลาไปก่อนขอบคุณทุกท่านนะครับที่กรุณาติดตามขอบคุณอาจารย์จักรนะครับสวัสดีครับสวัสดีครับสวัสดีครับ